Okay, let's have a go at this. What have we got? 743. Illud this, quoque we also, maioribus to our ancestors. We have et net correlatives, both prudently. Prudently is the adverb. In its concilio, it's planning or rationale or method. And in its outcome, its exitu, it was very felicita, it was very lucky outcome. This was the provision, this was the foreseeing also that our ancestors used. It was wise and with a lucky outcome. For when, with the herb captured, with the city was captured, the nominatives, the Gauls, they besieged the capital in the accusative. In their sole spem, their only hope of potendi, of taking possession or owning it, was repositem. It was placed in the famine of them, in starving these people. They animadverted, they noticed. And through this callid genere, through this cunning type of plan, concili, up here we see it used again. That's not there, it's just in brackets. What have we got? This iramento, what would you call that? It's like when you prod something on or whatever. And there was this one unique type of iramento, this one thing that would goad them on in their persevering for the victors, and that would spoil their plans. And it lies in pans, which is bread, coeperant. For they began to yacerate, to throw bread from comploribus locuses, from many places, in which the spectacle of the sight of this obstupified the Gauls, I'm guessing, and is a verb. They were believing there to be an abundant superesse, there was more than what was needed, and an infinite amount of frumenti, which is grain, and an abundance to us, that we had a great abundance and excess. And so they were compullerant. This compelled them to a paction, to a truce or something like that, or an ending, and to omitende the obsidian. They were going to end the siege. Miseratus est, something's male, taking pity. So tunc profecto. Then, assuredly, Jupiter. So he was taking pity of Roman virtues. So he was, how would you say of in English anyway? So he was, what to say, taking pity for Roman virtues. Mutantis usually means something borrowed. So the protection, their presidium, they had borrowed from cunningness. So instead of using weapons, they were now using they've taken this tool of using their cunning. When the summa of the alimentum, so alimentum's a thing that nourishes a person, so when all this stuff that nourishes them, there was an inopia, so there's a great lack of this. And Jupiter looks like he's cernerated. He's seen from this lack of all these things that nourish you, he saw them projected or thrown out, leaving them another lack of things that could protect them. And then it ends here in this version, and then it goes Icator. Therefore, as this vafro is another word for being cunning, ita, so thus as he saw that cunning was used, and this periculo concilio, that's another dangerous plan. Anyway, he gave them a salutum, a very healthy exitum, a very healthy outcome he gave them. So basically it says, then Jupiter assuredly took pity on them, and he saw that they'd used cunning as to get an outcome, and he saw they were willing to throw out all their food, and so he gave them a good, healthy, safe outcome. 744. In the same Jupiter, postea afterwards, the most praestantimus, the most outstanding of our leaders, of our generals or leaders, the dukes, he aspirated on, so he breathed or instilled out, Jupiter did, onto these leaders in very propitious, so it came out very fortunate in sagitibus council. So people were getting together, these great leaders, having some very wise plans, and Jupiter breathed on them basically. For when alterum latus, that's the neuter, so one side of Italy was being Hannibal was lacerating it, he was attacking it, and the other Hasdrubal, his brother, was invading on the other side. Lest there should be a junction, a joining of the copiers or the forces of these two brothers, an intolerable load to our tired men, and they were doing this similar at the same time. They were urgurating, they were pressing the matter. These two invasions, they didn't want them to join, and this was a terrible burden on Rome, who were already tired. Hinc means one place. The Vegetum Concilium, this is a very active or brisk sort of plan of Claudius Neronus, and Illinc on the other place, the famous Providentia, the foresight of Livius Salinator, was in effect. Okay, so two Romans were going up against the two Carthaginians. One was energetic and one was wise, you might want to say. For Nero, so this guy, Hannibal was compressed or trapped in a tight place by himself in Lucania, I think it is in English. His own presence, suam means Nero's presence, since thus was he desiring this rationale to be used in war, was a mentatus. He was lying. Nero was deceiving of his enemy, tricking him, thinking his presence was there. But he was going through a long journey, forendeming opem, bringing aid to his colleague. He was tendenting, he was aiming for his friend with an amazing amount of celerity, with an amazing amount of speed. Okay, here's a daily dictionary. Aspiro, to breathe, blow upon, aspirate, to instill, infuse, to be fragrant, to influence. So influence and instill are a bit away from the breathing bit, which is probably what Jupiter was doing. Back to the plot. Salinator, the other guy, was in Umbria, spelt with a V, at the Flumen Matorum, so at the Matorum River. On the Proximo day, on the next day, he was about to demarcaturate, he was about to fight, but with summa dissimulation, with a great pretense, or some decoying method, he received Nero, the guy who had gone through this long journey at an amazing amount of speed, and he received him in noctu, by the night, castris in the camp. 4, a bit of an explanation here. Tribunes were by tribunes, centurions by centurions, equites or horsemen by horsemen, and pedites, foot soldiers by foot soldiers, he ordered to receive. So he ordered tribunes to receive tribunes and centurions, and without any tumult or confusion or rioting or whatever, scarcely one army, the soil, the ground that could take scarcely one army, it inserted an alterum, another army. So now there were two armies in the same place. Quo vanit, let's take it. So it happened that Nay Hasdrubal, he was about to prolio, he was about to have a battle with two consuls, but prior to him knowing it, then, so we have prior squam, he was about to be passive, he was about to be pro-stern, he would be laid out by the virtue or valour of both of them. So in English, Hasdrubal was going to be taking on two consuls, but he didn't know it, and he was about to be laid low. And so, ita, through the whole world, toto orbe terrarum, the infamous Calidus, the cunning, which is Punic, belongs to the Punics people. They're famous, renowned for being smart, and it's known throughout the whole world. It was elucid, it was outwitted by Romano Prudentia. So Roman prudence or wisdom eluded or outsmarted them. Hannibal was outsmarted by Nero and Hasdrubal by the Salinator, and they were handed over to be deceived in the future. Okay, and 745. Q Metellus. So it's even memorable, even this Q Metellus, be mindful of his plan that he used, or of how wise he was, who, when he was a proconsul, Against the Celtiberos, he garroted a bellum. He conducted a war in Spain, Hispania, which in this place, Celtiberos, was the head city. Contrebiam. Looks like there's been a bit of a something missing there. Which were the head of this race. So this is the city of Contrebia. It was the head of this race, these people. He was non-possed. He wasn't able to expugnare. He wasn't able to storm it with strength, with viribusus. So inside of his heart or his soul or something, for a long time and with many things, he was agitating, turning over a lot of plans, conciliuses, so he could find a way, which he did find a way, by which propositum, which is usually his purpose, or he found some way which could lead to the outcome he wanted of his purpose. Okay, so we're nearly done. Itinera, it's plural journeys. He ingredibatur, and he was taking on long journeys with a magna impetus, with a great force or great speed. Then he would go from alias regions to alias regions. He would seek one region, another region. He would obsidibat. He would blockade or take positions in these mountains, and then a little after he would transgredibator. He would cross over to Ilos, to other mountains. When meanwhile, Tam, to all his own men, Tam Quam, just as he was to his own men and to his hostibuses, to his enemies, the cause was ignota. The cause or the reason was unknown equally to his own men and to the enemies of this unexpected and sudden fluctuations or travelling about.